What's up, everybody? This is Talkative Carl back again. I'm playing some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. And I know it's been a while. It's not that I haven't been playing it. It's been a minute since I streamed online. I've been focused on other stuff that kind of took a bit of precedent. And typically, I like to duel earlier in the day sometimes because online matches gets a bit difficult. Because getting closer to like late afternoon into the evening, not that I'm making excuses, but it's just that, it gets difficult because typically when you go online, more than likely you get people from the east playing it because it's daytime where they're at. So there's a lot more of them like probably playing. So that's who you usually get, and they're pretty much like just dominate because they play like probably more often than most of us. So anyway, I want to try out like the Duelist Cup. So I already got like a truckload of gems. Next week, I'm gonna buy these last two limited gem packets. Then I will make some like significant purchase because it's been like a long while since I did it last, and update my decks a bit. Here and there I got like, some cards and, but, each one can be like a wee bit better. So, I want to play like, cause it's got dual rooms like, you got the dual room casual match, already get like gold tier thing. But we'll try at least one of each here. Depending on your rank you achieve in Ranked Duel Season 7, you will start at the first stage from the set duel level. Okay, select deck. This is my go-to. Because with Pro's deck, it's like I can definitely have some competitive, at least get a better chance of wins. I think Zhang's deck would probably be like the second best I can use against online matches. Of course. Oh. I got lucky he quit on that one because like I could have easily lost that one. These Despia people and the evil twin cars, you see a lot of them in competitive play right now. Or on the occasion, you'll see a lot of people utilizing definitely utilizing a lot of you know, Exodia. I was planning on just playing this for, like, at least for, you know, close to an hour, and then stream a little bit later because I'm watching the. I didn't even know this was airing. This Tekken Bloodline. You know, it's like an animated short TV series for Tekken, and it's like, oh my god, this is like looks good, man. It's like I'm digging it. The art is amazing. I'm loving the story so far, but I'm only like halfway with it. No choice. There's only 6 episodes. I'm only halfway through it. I'll, breeze through it quickly so I can get, wrap it up, some Iron Man stuff, because, I'm nearly done, but I want to, quickly get through that before I stream later on. I'll stream Master Duel again by possibly next, more than likely next Thursday. And by that point, I would have, probably more than likely some updated decks. Boom. Honestly, is my favorite Blackwing monster, right? Like, this saves me out of a whole lot of jams. I save my Vayu as a backup just in case. Shit. I guess he had something like that ready. God damn. I'll do one more match, win or lose, and then try out the casual. Then I should like take care of like some solo. Well, like play at least try to get one win in like the regular exhibition, and then wrap up the video with some solo. I mean, I like the look of this field. Speaking of fields, they've made significant updates, and I got myself the Elemental Heroes skyscraper, well, this skyscraper field, which I hope they would have made, and I got it for at least a couple of my decks that I created. Oh my god, yes! Raid Raptor, that's another thing I really want. That's probably up there as like ties for me as far as like decks that I want to use competitively. Blackwing, Raid Raptor, and the Cyber Dragon. Those are like, you know, in my opinion, like I want to use like infinitely a lot more than any other deck. I need to like build myself like a Raid Raptor. Ultimate Falcon. Jesus. It's the first time I actually used that Delta code that way. Unaffected by other card effects. Wing Beast versus Wing Beast / Dragon. He would summon his ultimate Falcon. Son of a bitch. Times like this, I wish I had Swords of Revealing Light. Oh. Gonna surrender. Alright. On then. As it's kind of difficult. See, this is why I want to, update my decks significantly, because there's a few black wings that I do not have that I really need to get. Because I played against somebody who used black wings as well a few days ago, and there's like a few cards he or she was using that I do not have yet, and it kind of galls me that I don't. By next Thursday, I should have like at least over 16,000 jewels in order to purchase some significant amount of cards. I'm taking a bit of a risk because of that face down. Like when you play a match, it's like there's certain times when somebody plays a face down, you get it gets in your head, and you try not to, but you can't help yourself. It's like, is this something I'm gonna pay for later? Wabaku. He didn't use Wabaku. I'll save my Blizzard of the Far North. Probably got a Blue Eyes deck. Yeah. And that's another thing, my Kyber deck, I'm gonna... Oh, there you go. There's a few things that I still want to update in my Kyber deck. Level 21. And I got a new, mascot Karibo. Okay, Let's try to get at least one win out of, you know, the expedition. If you're wondering why I space them out like this, because too many times players has that trap card with the that cyber, not the XZ cyber dragon thing, the affinity I think his name is, and that kind of paralyzed the whatever column of roles it's connected to. And like makes it nullified. Okay, thank God. Because negate attack is one thing, but I need Blackbird close to activate. I mean, if you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, what kind of cards do you guys play with? Just out of curiosity. Because if you check out my previous videos on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/talkativecarl, you can see like all the kinds of cards that I had built deck-wise that I really want to just try out for fun, and a few that I want to use competitively. Blackwing, Cyber Dragon, Ray Raptor being like the biggest ones that I want to use competitively. Everything else I can just like, just for fun. Ah, he has a Blackwing too. This is another one I do not have. Yeah, Tuner. So bad. No, Blackback is not my favorite Blackwing card to use. It's one of those few that I'm actually going to substitute for something better once I make some significant updates, hopefully later. Oh, this is interesting. if I get Harpy's Feather Duster, I can swap out Lightning and Storm for it, because as good as it is, as well as like, you know, Heavy Storm, I need to be able to use it without any consequences, or at least a certain set conditions, because everybody else seems like they have Harpy's Feather Duster but me, which is weird. Maybe it's because they probably bought like the Harpy Lady stuff, which I haven't gotten around to, which I should next time it comes up, because I need Harpy's Feather Duster. Black hole. Perfect. Don't know why he wasted that trap card like that. No. That's it for that. No more of him negating my little trap cards. Perfect. Crush card. Well, this works just as well. You always have Crush card as like a backup plan. I guess he doesn't have a black wing. I guess he just elemental heroes. Okay. Now he has no choice but to be on the defensive. I see his connection is like wonky. I mean, it's taking him forever to make a decision. Either that or his connection is wonky. Perfect. I mean, that's fine. I can't really use it right now, anywho. But that's a wasteful move, but I guess it's the only play he can make right now. He or she can make right now. And crush card is safe in my hand anyway. You'll probably end up surrendering, because at this point, this is like the culmination of this match. Even if he managed to summon something powerful, my Kalut is there as backup. So no matter what stun he pulls out, if your life points are lower than your opponent, add one someone elemental hit a monster, Creeble monster or Neospatian monster from their deck or graveyard with an attack less than equal and the difference in life points. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot activate cards or effect cards with the same name as this card. Oh, Generation Next. It's pretty powerful. Summon Neos. Not bad. Not bad. I don't even have that card from my Elemental Hero deck, but I will eventually. But close but no cigar, man. Sorry. Got no choice but to surrender at this point. He had me on the defensive for a little bit. I was getting kind of worried. Just in case, because I have no clue what he has. He could have like Clayman for all I know. Better safe than sorry. Now at this point, it's the culmination. Alright, might as well just go ahead and end it here. That's what like kind of annoys me about some trolley kind of players, where they just keep like endlessly summoning, hoping like you get discouraged and eventually quit on your own, or like they keep dragging it out, you know, like kind of rubbing salt in the wound, like you already won, just finish the thing. Come on. Casual match. Okay. This was just fooling around. Let's go with Yugi. It's only gonna do one duel anyway. Win or lose, I just want a casual match, it's fine. I hope everybody's excited for that new, because like One Punch Man Season 3, I gotta look up when it's coming out, but I'm super excited, man. Already did like a spoiler review like last year of One Punch Man Season 1 and 2, which you can check out on my YouTube channel, and my thoughts. It's one of my earlier TV show reviews. You can check out my thoughts on both of those seasons. I love the hell out of One Punch Man. Saitama is the freaking best, man. Oh boy. Remember when like we first saw like ritual something in Duelist Kingdom of Yu-Gi-Oh? Man, that blew my mind. It's like rituals? Black Luster Soldier? Oh hell yeah. Always like I got Black Luster Soldier for real. And it's like, oh god, it's literally one of my favorite ritual monsters ever. I love Black Luster Soldier. And their Relinquish is the only card in his hand. I think Obnoxious Celtic Guardian's underrated card. I love Obnoxious Celtic Guardian. I like the vanilla version too, but when like Obnoxious Celtic Guardian came into play, like I love the design and I love his like special effect. I think I think he's completely replaced his original version, which I'm fine with. Let's go to like play at least 3 solo matches. I want to try this like new gates. I'm pretty sure like I seen like we played this before, unless they updated it. Yeah, we played this before, but it's like they got like a new story attached to it. So let's check it out. Aram and his Link comrades, the Crusadia, are up against a new foe, the Orcas, who can be called back from the graveyard even after they are destroyed. One question remains: who is the mastermind behind these menacing machines? A new world legacy battle is about to unleash. That's a lot of scenarios before we go to practice in the actual duel. So, story time. The secret powers of the planet. A few years has passed since the nightmare of a tragedy. When Oram awoke, he found that the girl and her brother were no longer with him. Was Eve really gone now for good? The loss of the girl had its grip over Oram's heart like an unbreakable vice. I couldn't protect Eve. If only I were stronger, then her death could have been avoided. The battle had left a chasm in Aram's heart. Now that Eve was gone, Aram had tasted for the first time just how terrifying a battle could be, and how devastating losing someone you treasure could be. He didn't have the heart to go on with his journey, not for now. However, there was still one thing on his mind that bothered him. It was Nijisuru. Even now, Aram still had no idea where he had gone. No doubt despair had taken him, now that his beloved sister was no more. And when Aram thought about how Nijisuru must have been feeling right now, his heart became fraught with an immovable weight. But that was exactly why Aram had to go after his childhood friend, and so the swordsman resumed his journey with Imduk. It was when panic was beginning to settle in Aram's mind. Was it coincidence? Or did the Mekhnite that dwelled within him lead him to it? He stumbled across a dormant crawler. It occurred to Aram that this might lead to a clue. He could try and restore it and see if its communication system still worked. Aram succeeded in restoring the crawler and gained access to its communication system, along with a number of records that detailed areas in which the swarms were active, and data on the locations where many crawlers had been destroyed. Perhaps there was still some life left in those areas, and if there was, maybe they would know where Nijitsu had gone. Armed with his new clue, Aram set off to the areas he had gleaned from the records. However, as useful as the information was, it unfortunately didn't make Aram's expedition any easier. There was nary a sign of life to be spotted anywhere, and the journey was looking like it could end in vain. Nature, uncaring and unrelenting, continued to batter the two mercilessly. But at last, a glimmer of hope at the end of the arduous tunnel. Aram and Imduk had stumbled across the remaining tribes of the planet. That of the fiery recluses, the stalwart beasts, and the sacred lakeside trees. Although this encounter brought no clues as to Ninjutsu's whereabouts, Oram and Imduk were blessed with the legends and knowledge of the tribes. And by linking them together, Oram was able to unlock a great secret power of the world and witness the tremendous power that slumbered in its depths. It made him think of the world chalice power that was bestowed to him. But this was greater, far greater, hiding unbeknownst to the dwellers of the planet. Was this what Lee had sought? Aram thought. What were the more secrets dwell beneath the surface? One of them was the rebirth records, inscribed with the history of the planet, chronicles from generations long forgotten. And the other, bygone memories of the planet's glorious age where humans ruled from the apex. Long, long ago, there was a god who ruled the skies. With dragonkind as its disciples, it perpetuated the cycles of destruction and rebirth to maintain the balance of the realms. However, the scale of destruction grew bigger each time, and one day the balance of the two were thrown into great disarray. Once this delicate balance toppled, even the sacred skies could not hold back the destruction it wrought. The god decided that it could no longer oversee the skies by itself. With its powers of creation, it brought forth layers and layers of the toughest earth and sealed the powers of destruction within. With nowhere to go, the powers raised and raged until it boiled and scorched the very earth, morphing it. The torrent of power rushed through the land and merged with the powers of creation, leaking out onto the surface. It became a small manifestation of the cycle of death and rebirth, and gave life to the lands. With the last of its strength, the god then turned itself into a key, and entrusted to the life blooming on the planet before vanishing. In the years following its disappearance, the powers of destruction re-emerged on the surface many times. However, every time it did, the life on the planet would use the key and, with the help of the dragon kind, push it back to whence it came. Over time, the key came to be known as a word. Word. And the power of destruction as the Great Darkness. Thus, the great legend of the world hero was born. Starlit hero, your sword swathed in light, may you triumph over the great darkness. Decades, centuries, maybe millennia passed since the beginnings of the rebirth records. The land was now populated with life known as humanity. They were a civilization who had gained scientific knowledge and technological know-how, and were at the height of their prosperity. Their glory came at a cost, for it not only tore the planet's gifts away from it, but also the dragons who protected it. The god and the dragons that once had faded into obscurity as mere tales. And it was during this time that the key was excavated and uncovered. The humans were exhilarated by such a legendary and mystical find. Although its authenticity became gradually acknowledged, Some expressed worries and doubts at the discovery. What did it mean for the key to have resurfaced in this time? Was this an omen, warning them of an inevitable battle between the world hero and the great darkness, like the legend said? Now that they could see that the key existed in its sword form, did this not also mean that the powers of destruction were indeed sealed deep within the planet's crust? Humanity began to assemble their finest to analyze the key. Within the team that had formed, there was a scientist who has shown her talent in all fields of medicine, astronomy, and archaeology. Her name was Lee. Lee was known all over the world as the foremost authority on computer science. The analyst was able to proceed smoothly thanks to her involvement, and not long after, the team branded itself as an organization called Crusadia, under the jurisdiction of the Confederation of Nations. Once they had analyzed the key further, they began to draft a plan that would help fight the imminent threats to their planet. It would involve warriors of mechanical nature, and they called it Project Mech-Knight. Work was to proceed without a moment's delay. Meanwhile, Lee drew up a hypothesis and sought to validate it in secret. She wanted to get to the roots of the appearance of the Great Darkness that world hero legend spoke of. Recorded in the legend were multiple tales of the key being used to drive back the Great Darkness by harnessing the powers of creation and destruction. It was a simple enough story. The Great Darkness would appear, and the world hero would fight it back with the key. However, could the reverse also not be true? That using the key was the very thing that drew the Great Darkness out? There were those who were entrusted with a divine mission, and the conspirators who sought to revive the powers of destruction. The world hero legend was ultimately a story of their power struggle over the key. Whoever has the key will control the fate of the world. Or so went Lee's hypothesis anyway. And the more time she spent trying to validate it, the darker her ambitions grew. The divine powers will be mine. Okay, story time nearly over. A few years have passed now since Project Mech-Knight began. And finally, Mech-Knight of the Morning Star was complete. It had been fitted with a core powered by the key and possessed enough power to fight the most deadly of wars. However, an incident occurred during its test run with none other than Lee as its test pilot. With the key, she had reversed all the celestial powers coursing through its mechanical body and diverted them to the planet's core, faster than anyone could make a move. Lee had planned all this out before taking her place as test pilot. The power that had flowed into the planet's core split the lands, and once again, the destruction from within overflowed to the surface, scorching every bit of earth that it touched. The entire world was beginning to split apart in this unprecedented disaster, and the revival of the Great Darkness drew ever nearer. However, its resurrection was not without its obstacles. The Crusadia had created, as assistive units, 7 Mech-Knights in total. The remaining Mech-Knights faced off against Mech-Knight of the Morning Star and destroyed it, sealing away the Great Darkness back within the Earth core. Earth once more. But the Great Darkness was, at the end of the day, a divine force, one that the mortals failed to seal away completely. Inspired by the key, the team decided to put their powers into physical vessels of their own, and left them on the surface as legacies. Now that the lands were ruined, it was getting harder and harder to live in such conditions. It seemed that life on this planet would be greatly snuffed out, including humanity. The reason why the Master of the Key, the world hero, didn't appear in our time of need is because we humans drained the planet of its powers. Thought the Crusadia. They began to mobilize to put an end to humanity's so-called glory, as it was the largest obstacle to the revival of the barren lands and the planet's chances at surviving. They left the 7 Megnites they had built in their ruined world after they were programmed with instructions to help rekindle the planet. The Megnites were also installed with data of the Crusadia members they had established as brain link with. If the lands could be healed once more and the planet could take back the power it once had, then perhaps they could avoid imminent disaster. The Crusadia left all of their hopes to a faraway future they may not even reach. However, there was one thing they failed to realize. The mastermind behind this incident was Lee, and she had already been taken by the burning lands. When she was found, she was already dead. But only in flesh. Her soul had been released from its physical vessel and she had transferred into World Legacy, World Chalice, her will and knowledge. So this was like a prequel? And what we read in the previous installment of the Secret Powers is what happened that came after, maybe. Is that what it is? Because she was that little fairy thing that became malevolent. The tremendous power that dwelt within the planet was the very thing that Lee was after, thought Aram. Suddenly, he was struck by a sense of terror. He could feel a great force of malice that threatened the planet, but from where he could not tell. Perhaps someone somewhere was beckoning to the darkness, trying to bring it forth. He had to stop them before another terrible disaster happened. And in that moment, in Aram's mind, the figure of Ninjutsu appeared. The figure of his childhood friend, tormented with sadness from the loss of Eve, seeking darkness in his despair at the world. Although slight, he could feel Ninjutsu's presence within the malice. It couldn't be. Aram reined his uneasy heart in. He would need help to stop this malice. He asked the elders of each tribe to lend him their strength. And they answered his pleas with a great number of warriors and the tribes united in a formidable alliance. They named themselves after the warriors of old that their writing spoke of, and thus the second coming of the Crusadia was born. So yeah, what we witnessed was a prequel, because he thought like these were like the past, and then like the city was the future, but no, it's the other way around. Crazy, or at least a good twist. The Crusadia were taken to a hidden spot by the tribe of the Sacred Trees and activated World Legacy, World Crown. Aram and his companions had now obtained power that could help them combat the malice that threatened their world. The Crusadia began their advance toward the giant tower at the center of all the malice. The orchestrated battle, towering into the sky in its metallic magnificence. Surrounding it were the orcas, mechanical weapons waiting on standby in silent formations. At the tower's base was Ninjutsu, and activating the World Legacy World Wand was the only thing on his mind. Now that Aram could see his childhood friend, the swordsman could only think about how much sadder he was. So these little things just like look like musical instruments, which is creative. I gotta give him that. Aram prayed that he was only overthinking the situation, but he knew that their reality was not a kind one. Ninjutsu was here because he wanted the powers of darkness, and he was at the center of the malice Aram had felt. That was the truth that awaited him at the end of his long search. But no matter how much time had passed, no matter how things had changed, the one thing that remained the same was that Ninjutsu was still his friend. Aram thought about what he could do now that he was here. He had to stop Ninjutsu from starting a disaster that could mean the end of their world. The only one who can stop this villainy is me, Aram thought, gathering all his courage. He signaled for his companions to mobilize. And now, a new battle was about to begin. Okay, got a little bit more to go. Ninjutsu's sorrow. When Ninjutsu saw what had happened, a bolt of guilt pierced through his grief. Even in his depression or desperation, he never imagined this would happen. His eyes could hardly believe what they were seeing. How did all this happen so fast? He prayed that he was dreaming and that he was going to wake soon. All he wanted was to see her. All he wanted to see his dear sister again. As the scene of another nightmare unfurled around him, he became embroiled in a storm of emotions. I need to save Eve. Even as his mind was numb with stupor, Ninjutsu's body began to move without command. In what looked like an impulsive choice, he struck his childhood friend unconscious, taking both the other man's sword and Eve. What good was this world if Eve were not in it? He would do anything, be it good or evil, if it meant that he could see her smile again. That single thought of getting his sister back was all Ninjutsu needed to force his weary limbs forward. He had the Mekk-Knight course from when the 6 nightmares were defeated. And now he also had the sword he took from Aram. Using the facilities that were still present in the Mekk-Knight headquarters, he analyzed the artifacts with feverish desperation. This world possessed a mystical power similar to that of the world legacies, and if anything had a clue regarding its specifics, it would be the Mekk-Knights. They might even have a way to bring Eve back. Although he was unable to glean a way to resurrect Eve, he learned a great deal about a number of facilities from the ancient civilizations. Ninjutsu left the Mekk-Knight headquarters and set off to each one of them with the lifeless body of his sister in tow. Many of the facilities he visited had already ceased to work, and the ones that barely did provided little to no useful information. However, Ninjutsu never gave up. There must be a way he could save Eve somehow. With the unwavering belief in his heart, he resumed his grueling journey. And finally, at long last, he discovered an ancient facility that was still in working condition. After countless weary roads walked, Ninjitsu had gone through more information than any average man would in his life. He had thoroughly inspected the mech-knight cores on several ancient facilities. But with what he had gathered, including files on the key and technologies thought to be long lost, he had finally unlocked the secrets hidden within the planet. What's this flavor text read? His battle with the monstrosities never seemed to end, even when their forest was invaded by the monstrosities, insects. He stood his ground and inspired the other defenders around him. Has no defense. Usually, monster cards with zero defense are typically zombie types, not warriors. Hold on a second. Excuse me. And the truth of the world that had been shrouded in mystery, Ninjitsu trembled with joy. He could revive his sister now. With his newfound certainty, Ninjitsu set out creating a vessel that could house each soul using the ancient technologies. However, this task was to be the most difficult yet. Trial after trial resulted in countless failures and their byproducts. Oh my god, he's building her a robot body? Jesus Christ. And as the days ticked by, he had amassed enough vessels to create his own army. But at last, his efforts paid off. He had finally created a mechanical doll that would work. By synthesizing the doll with the body of his dead sister, he also succeeded in reinitializing the functions of one of the twin swords vital to his plan. So much time had been poured into this endeavor, but at least there was something to show for it. A strange sense of elation began to bubble within Ninjitsu. His sister had given her life for this world. Now it was time for him to create a new world for her. Now that Ninjitsu had the mechanical doll's powers, the second step of the plan to build orchestrated Babel could finally begin. Okay. Alright, Crusadia deck. This deck can allow you to link summon multiple times, especially when used in tandem with monsters whose effect lets you special summon to a zone that a link arrow is pointed to. Use this to your advantage and summon even more powerful link monsters to your field. Crusadia link monsters also gain a helpful boost in attack from monsters that they point to. Bolster your attack by summoning your more powerful monsters to zones that your Crusadia link monsters are pointing to when you're up against an especially tough opponent. Okay. go with Zane. Okay, here we go. There we go. Last story. The Crusadia headed toward where Ninjutsu was. However, before they could reach him, they had to get past the countless Orcus weaponry. The Orcus were merciless as they were numerous, and the Crusadia suffered greatly as they tried to fight their way through. In the heart of battle, Orion began to feel that within orchestrated Babel, there dwelled a power similar to that of his key. The, mechanic, the mechanical vessel used whatever little of the key's power they had inherited and activated orchestrated Babel. Orchestrated, like orchestra, get it? From the depths of the tower, a great light was released, and the tower itself seemed to almost fall away with it as the beam stretched into the sky above. No! The activation must be stopped, Aram thought as he dashed toward the machinery. However, before he could move any further, Ninjitsu appeared before him. It was the first time they had seen each other since that tragedy long ago. Their eyes met with the chaos of battle. Aram opened his mouth to speak. Why? He asked. Would you want anything to do with this great darkness? Why put our planet under a threat like this? Why did you create this spiraling tower and this army of mechanical weapons? Ninjutsu had only one simple answer for him. For Eve. It was the only reason he needed. For his sister, he was willing to activate Babel to strike the World Legacy World Wand down from the skies and break the Earth's surface, so he could awaken the slumbering World Legacy World Arc and use its influence over life and death to revive Eve's soul. Then after the Great Darkness had been after the Great Darkness had been freed from within the Earth, he was going to use his power to resurrect Eve as a celestial being. Now that he had heard the truth from Ninjitsu, Aram readied his sword and knew that he had to stop this at all costs. Ninjitsu didn't budge, and instead swung his lance in return. No one was going to stand in his way, not even Aram. The swordsman knew that Ninjitsu loved Eve more than anyone in the world. But that did not make it right for him to put their entire planet in danger like this. Aram knew that Eve would not want this, even if it meant that she could live once more. However, for Ninjitsu, there was nothing he wanted more than to see his sister open her eyes again. And if it meant that he had to turn against the entire world, then so be it. Both men had already made their minds up on what they wanted to achieve. Neither wanted to budge, so they clashed, but neither could gain a decisive advantage. The orchestrated Babel activated. And at last, the World Wand had been toppled. Then it fell to the earth. It gored the land below, and the resulting shockwave reverberated across the entire planet. Okay. Oh, can't believe it's been like 3 chapters of the same thing. Okay, yeah, at least 2 more. At least do 2 of these more. 2 matches. I'm gonna make it really quick. Excellent. I'll pop in some multiverses after this. I figure I'll just do two things here. At least stream at least 2 games. I'll get back to God of War and Phoenix Wright probably Monday. Well, that sucked. Let's try this again. Ah, god dang it. I've effed that up. Oh my god. I don't know why I'm thinking of it's like a speed warrior, like, you know, automatically. Because it's supposed to automatically pop up and I can just choose it. God dog it. Okay. Let's get this right. There are those. I need one at least things to discard so I can get the Cyber Dart guys out here. Taking longer than it should be. I only get Cyber and Dragon. Boom! Zane will be proud. Boom! Took longer than I needed to, but you know, Glad it's done. Like, so I'm gonna go with Kaiba's deck. I'm gonna go with yeah, let's go with Yugi. There we go. I like that animation, that's nice. Building a decent defense. Nice. Yeah, I have a virtual chaos magician, but I haven't drawn it yet. Get rid of that. It looks like you're the first time chatter, Xander. You know, like, this is, I won't say like a prototype, but I want to build like a, you know, decent Yugi deck, and like, you know, this is like so far like a relatively upgraded thing, but you know, this card will get better, and like I have it, you know, just to have it because it's like a fun deck to have because I love Yugi's deck a lot. So oh, I think I have that too. I think so. Like I said, it's not like a final deck kind of thing. This is like when I built this deck, you know, it's like, you know, better than I had like previously when I started playing the game when it came out earlier this year. Over time, a lot of my decks will get tweaked a bit. So it's not to say that I'll have that card in my deck forever. Okay, I think I need it, so let's check out the done all the missions. Do a pass. Yeah, I don't think I can get to the scapegoat in 9 days. Because I haven't been like, you know, consistent in playing Master Duel. What's I'm missing? It's probably that oh yeah. Maybe I'll go to the B Troopers next Thursday when I play this again. No, I don't use that. What I use is my Blackwing deck, because that's what I use competitively. Even then, there's a few cards that I'm missing that I want to, you know, get. There'll be an update with my decks by probably next Thursday. But I want to build me a Raid Raptor deck. But for right now, Blackwings was what I use competitively to get me, because I had rank 5 gold member, and the Blackwings is what got me so far. My second best is Zane's deck with the Cyber Dragons. Until like I get the Raid Raptors, those be the primary 3 that I use competitively. Everything else, not so much. But I play around with these when I, you know, play around with like solo or maybe casual deck playing. Unless you can get Armor Master. I got Armor Master. And hold on, let me show you. Like I said, this is not like well, my, you know, it's not what I, you know, have like dead set on for now. Like I said, it's like a few cards that I'm missing, but I got like Armor Master, Assault Blackwing. This one got me a lot of jams Blackwing Full Armor Master helped me out tremendously. And of course, you know, Dark Rays, Black Feather Dragon, Black Wing Dragon. Assault Blackwing I might not keep forever depending on well, the synchro Blackwing monsters I get. But you know, Nothong, Assault Blackwing, Rakiri, Chidori, Silverwind, I'm sorry, like Assault Blackwing, Omnimaru, and Sohoya. But yeah, but that's not what I said. Unless you can get Armor Master out the right way, it's difficult to use. What do you mean by the right way? I mean, I summon them like, I wouldn't say various ways, but like a decent amount of ways I summon them. I use Blackwing a lot, even in like crap, what was the other Yu-Gi-Oh, the last one, Legacy of the Duelist. I use Blackwing a lot, and that's where I first got used to utilizing Blackwing, and this game kind of gave me some better cards. How to make Armor Master out and make it invincible. Like I said, yeah, I understand. I get it. Yeah. Like I said, you know, this is not like, you know, like I want to say not a complete deck, but you know what I mean. There's still cards that I need to include in this deck to make it like at least 98 to 99, like, you know, really effective. Right now, I feel like I may be 93 to 95, like, you know, decent-ish of a deck, but it could be better. You know what I mean? And like I said, like I got like Zane's deck, and I think this is like a good roughly 98, 97, decent enough of a deck. But we'll see. I think there might be like a couple of cards I could include in this deck. Yeah, Chimera Tech, Cyber Eternity Dragon, Cyber Darkness Dragon, End Dragon, Over Dragon, Cyber Sigir, Infinity, Nova, Dark End, Rampage, Twin Dragon, Dark Dragon, and Fortress. So, but Raid Raptor is like my white whale right now because I need to start building that. Everything else is just I use for fun. I don't feel comfortable using, not even Yusei, as much as I love Yusei's deck and the synchro materials and Sky, you know, Stardust Dragon is a freaking phenomenal card. But competitively, you know, it's like it doesn't give me as the same amount of wins as like Zane or Blackwing would. But Raid Raptor is like I said, it's gonna be my white whale. Anywhoozle, it's already going on 2 hours. I didn't think I was gonna be here this long. In like 10-15 minutes, I'll be loading up my PS5 so we can play Multiverses for at least an hour. You know, play a little bit more Bugs Bunny. Yeah, I think that's all I'll be streaming for today. But hopefully I'll see you in like 10-15 minutes. You can check out my gameplay of that. And yeah, thank you for stopping by. Hopefully see you later. And yeah, and definitely check out my YouTube channel. The links are in the description, but youtube.com/talkativecarl. You can always check out any past streams that I post on my YouTube channel. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit.